episode of Revealing Biblical Truths. I'm your host, Barry Nassif. Today, we'll be starting a series on the Moedim, God's appointed times. In today's teaching, I will be going over what they are not, and how to know what day and season it is according to the Bible and God's timeline and calendar. Let's start by going over some scripture and get a basis for what these are and how to determine what day it actually is. I'll be going into greater detail in future episodes on the feasts themselves and how to observe them. So let's go to Leviticus 23, and he tells us about these feast days. Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, the appointed times of Yahweh, which you are to proclaim as set apart gatherings, my appointed times are these. We see here that these appointed times are his times, not for the Jews, not any people group, his times. And if we keep going, we see the first 3 spring feasts laid out: Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits. In the first new moon, on the 14th day of the new moon, between the evenings, is the Pesach to Yahweh. And on the 15th day of this new moon is the festival of Matzot to Yahweh. 7 days you eat unleavened bread. Next, we see the feast of Shavuot, also called Pentecost. Until the morrow, after the 7th Shabbat, you count 50 days. Then you shall bring a new grain offering to Yahweh. And on this same day you shall proclaim a set-apart gathering for yourselves. You do no servile work on it, a law forever, in all your dwellings throughout your generations. Finally, he tells us about the fall feasts, the Day of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and the Feast of Tabernacles. Speak to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th new moon, on the 1st day of the new moon, you have a rest, a remembrance of Teruah. On the 10th day of this 7th new moon is Yom HaKippurim. It shall be a set-apart gathering for you, and you shall afflict your beings, and shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahweh. And you do no work on that same day, for it is Yom Kippurim, to make atonement for you before Yahweh your Elohim. Speak to the children of Israel, saying, on the 15th day of this 7th new moon is the festival of Sukkot, for 7 days to Yahweh. Okay, so we see that there are 7 holy days that God has. They are his appointed times, and he is very specific on when they are to be celebrated. But how do we determine what day is the first day of the month, and what day is the first day of the year according to the Bible? Well, the beginning of the month is when the first new moon is sighted. The first waxing crescent is seen. The beginning of the year, from what I have studied, starts on the first new moon after the barley crop is ripe, also called Aviv in Hebrew. That's when the barley is Aviv. The month is actually called Aviv in the Bible. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God, for in the month of Abib the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. So, the Passover is in this month, and according to Leviticus, this is in the first month. There are some people who have a different take on when the year starts, and no one can say for sure what calculation is correct. However, I believe this is how the Bible lays it out. Now that we have observed general knowledge of what the holy days are and when they occur, how do we observe them? Should we observe them today? I will discuss all of that in future episodes. This is more just like an overview. If you like this teaching, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Comment down below if you have any questions or would like to see me talk about some other topics. Thanks, and again, till next time, shalom.